Mike the Ref Maloney, Big Bad Boris on the call here tonight.
Let's go! Let's go! Third! The Super Kick Party!
Yeah, pay the money for that. No one. And of course, you gotta get the Coffin spin. Hey, yo, 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 and away we go. Happy Wednesday, everybody. You know it's Wednesday. You know what that means. A little AEW Dynamite action coming up tonight. Always a pleasure hanging out with each and every one of you here on the Mike the Ref Twitch channel here on a Wednesday. Wow, it's been a week. Cutting a little close to game time here, about 2 minutes to go, but yeah, I just had a whole bunch of stuff I was riding up here, getting done. I actually ended up editing 10 different videos today. Thanks to the terrific response to our arcade stories on our gaming channel. Managed to wrangle up, finally, the Tekken 8 ones that I did about, well, it's the 15th, so about 3 months ago, actually. So we're going to start getting those up. Nina Williams is going to be up first tomorrow. We're going to have a bunch of these little arcade stories. If you don't know what they are, they're about little 10 to 15 minute little segments. They're 5-match setups of arcade mode that each of the fighting games have. And yeah, it's quick, it's simple. You can enjoy it while you're having a little break. Tells a little bit of a story, a little bit of lore about the games. And hey, Zodiac, how you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're ready for a great night of action, because it seems like they got quite a bit lined up here for tonight on the old AEW Dynamite. But how are you doing? How are you doing? How is everything? How is life? How is times? We got a lot of craziness going on here. We got some blood feuds tonight with thanks for being amazing. Oh, you guys were the amazing ones to get me through that. So don't even kid yourself on that. It was just fun to be there as part of the Killer Instinct episode on the Retro Hangover. For those that don't know exactly what we're talking about here, that released on Sunday, and I hope that I always sell myself short. You know, I am 6 foot tall, and you know, when you're dealing with wrestlers, well, when you're dealing with AEW wrestlers, you're usually one of the tallest ones, but sorry. I'm a little late on the Jeff Cobb doesn't even get an intro tonight. I know some people are going to be pissed here. Rossi 1330, arrest Rossi. Oh. That's not good. Angel of the Winds Arena, is that sort of like right next door to climate change? But I can see some people really getting pissed off that Jeff Cobb and Kyle Fletcher didn't get entrances here. But apparently Tony Khan actually went on the old X Machine today and mentioned that there's going to be a huge overrun here. Hey, Jay Quick. Whose house? Well, it's my house, but I digress here. But I almost feel like it's Moxley's house in a way. Oh, God. Hey, Mox, you made to AEW. So, if you don't know the backstory of this fight, there is actually a pretty good backstory altogether about it. This is the first time that the ROH TV champion and the NJPW TV champion actually are getting together in the same match as a tag team. He looks weird, bald. Hey, bald is beautiful. I forgot I gotta shave my head again soon. I love to see that Danielson's got his music rocking and he's still beating the crap out of everybody. The other story about this actually comes from Jeff Cobb himself. Because Cobb actually has been going on the post-game press conferences that they have in New Japan and talking about how disrespectful it is to have somebody who is a main eventer in another company holding their heavyweight championship. I will be perfectly frank. Well, I'll be perfectly Mike in this case. But I think as long as Moxley shows up in New Japan, which he has. So we got the... Yeah, that's what I just said, Jay Quick. It's one of the first times that they've ever had the two TV champs working... Oh, the IWGP World Champ as well. Sorry. We got 3 champions here. You want to get a spotlight on that title? Get him out here. And Moxley's got that IWGP heavyweight title. Cobb's pissed off because he has it and he's an AEW guy. I say, you know what, as long as Moxley shows up to defend it on New Japan TV as well, or New Japan tours as well, I guess the better way to put it. It's absolutely perfect to let him have the title. Because right now the focus in New Japan, and I'm sure Andre Melball could tell you, I like this. They got countdown clocks to the some of the matches here. So they're going to do the Eliminator match for the head of the second hour? Okay. Jay Quick, I personally, what I think, based on that little countdown clock in the corner of the screen that we're getting right now, I got a feeling the Bucks versus Sydal and Daniels are going to be our main event spot tonight. And we might get a bait and switch here. Because this might be where Claudio gets inserted into the match. Because if you go back to last week, as Danielson was giving out his talking about Anarchy in the Arena and why he was a part of it, Claudio actually just walked away. And after he did an interview with Lexi and just said, "You're teaming up with Kingston? You're not teaming up with... I don't want to see you get injured in your last year of competition. I know you run the rules and whatever, but he's there to support, but he doesn't want to see that happen." Or does Mox take you? I don't think you put Mox in that match. I think if Mox is going to be on that card, he is going to defend the IWGP title in a separate match. When you have a title like that, you do your best to expose it. Well, the fact we got such a stacked card coming up for Double or Nothing as well. Eddie took a rough landing on a table spot at the New Japan Resurgence card on Saturday. I don't know if you heard, but at the end of his match, it was a no ropes last man standing match where he ended up losing the New Japan Strong title. After the match, the Bucks actually came in and basically what a lot of people think is they kayfabed a shoot injury, I think is the best way to terminology of that. Even though my English languaging was great right there. But we got, like, everybody thinks that, like, Eddie was hobbling backstage, but I wouldn't put it above Eddie to be faking everybody out as you go along. But at the same time, there is that possibility that he is legit injured. And if he has to get taken out, this could be a possibility of getting Claudio in there. It could be a possibility of getting a lot of people in there. So I do appreciate that we're getting a lot of signings, a lot of match confirms this week. I don't expect to see a whole ton. Then, of course, as soon as I say that, could be the return of Hangman if Eddie's out. Absolutely. Like, there's a million possibilities, but I'd rather just think that Eddie's okay still, but we'll worry about it once we get to that point here. But yeah, that would be fun if it was Ricky. Yeah, like somebody right out of the blue. Like, you want to talk about Team AEW, Ricky Starks absolutely feels like... And Ricky's said a lot of that in his promos, that everybody talks about, you know, the 4 pillars that were coming out. De facto, Starks really is one of those pillars, if he signed. Oh, and the other big news that came out this week, I know this is completely off topic. Not really, but because it does involve Eddie Kingston. But today is sweeps week, or preview week for Warner Brothers. They had their preview today. Just showing everything that they plan to have up on the fall, and the possibility that they might not have NBA basketball was sort of a dark cloud over the whole thing. But one of the things they did announce is they actually have a new show available on TBS on Fridays. I believe it's 2 Eastern, so it'll be about noon Mountain. It's called A Meal and a Match. If you ever heard of Dinner and a Movie, well, we got A Meal and a Match. Hosted by RJ City and Renee Paquette. So apparently, we haven't got all the details about it, but it's more like people are going to talk and they're going to watch a match or watch something that make it, you know, a little more accessible for the common fan. And even while you're watching daytime TV, you can have a chance to watch a little wrestling. And their first guest is going to be Eddie Kingston on there. So I really wonder how... Eddie just seems like a guy that would fly a little bit off the cuff on a show like that. I'm assuming that he wouldn't, just because it's a tape show, but it'd actually be pretty funny if he did, and we'd see the results of that. But yeah, there's a whole different bunch of storylines we could go through here, and hopefully Eddie's in 100% shape. Because if you look at this card for Double or Nothing coming up, and hell, it's just a week and a half time now. You're looking at some banger matches here. Like, you're gonna have Mercedes debut against Willow, which, yes, I am wearing. I told you guys I'd wear the 3 shirts that I picked up at the Edmonton show as part of. There wasn't much more to say than that, but maybe I'll quit being lazy and get up and show you guys. Yeah, that's the CEO shirt. But yeah, we got... Yeah, I would... It makes the most sense. It's just like that... Let me make this perfectly clear. I have no plans on her sign. If she signs, it's going to be a hell of a surprise and we'll all enjoy it, but... That Instagram picture of... Yeah, we're 10 sleeps away from the CEO to start wrestling. Let's hope she doesn't turn into another CM Punk. Because after the CM Punk shows up for 2 matches and gets injured. But between Mercedes having her debut, that announcement of the barbed wire steel cage match with Malakai, with those two sick is part of it, with Copeland and Malakai, like. And then you got the Anarchy in the arena, which I am so glad that I'm gonna have somebody here with me, because somebody can go through that match and not. Somebody can agree with me on how disgusting it is compared to. Because if you haven't heard, in 10 Sleep's time, there's going to be a ton of blood, yes. I wonder when they're going to finally do a pay-per-view in Transylvania here. People are upset that Warner Bros. Didn't announce a deal. That's why Fightful said what they said. Yeah, it makes sense. And I just... First of all, I hope that we can finally get a AEW card in Transylvania with all the blood we give out. Just trying to get that out for a couple sentences here. And if everything is video games, I want to say this Fightful report about the TV deal is sort of on the same boat as the president of Nintendo coming out and saying that they are going to announce something about the Switch 2 sometime in the next calendar year, but it's not going to be as part of the June 9th Nintendo Direct that's coming out for the rest of the year. So just trying to get that out of the way, get that out of people's minds. So once again, everything could be have a reference between video games and or wrestling. So video games, wrestling, Simpsons, usually one of the three. Gonna go for that Psycho knee. Oh, God. Not quite the Tour of the Islands. Yeah, I saw that AEW fighters, figure fighters. Well, Aubrey Edwards is actually, I believe she still does work, partially with Crystal Dynamics. How's it look, Jay Quick? I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. I literally just noticed it an hour ago when Orange Cassidy put out a X post about it. It's okay, yeah. Like, mobile games are meant to be time killers. They're not meant to be overly insane with everything, right? So because yeah, even SNK's got a new one now for King of Fight. Cut her out of nowhere. Fletcher just quickly does a Michinoku right. Just that pretty much boom right there anywhere. Each match gets harder as you go. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, that's like every game. And then, you know what? You can put in a few bucks to upgrade your character, which is how they make their upgrade money. Fletcher versus Phoenix, I think we'll see it. So, Chad, I have to ask you, just because they flashed up the location of Vegas here, I know we'll talk about this a little bit more on during the Double or Nothing sidecast that we're going to have here with McGee, because I want to bounce this off of him. Do you think this might be the last year they do Vegas for a while for Double or Nothing? My personal feeling is yes. Especially now that you ended up getting... Oh, God. God, that Death Rider looks sick. Hell of a match to start. Shivani said it best there. Hell of a match. This is like a random match that shows up on Dynamite, right? There is a tiny bit of story behind this. Like, here comes Takeshita. They at least have one show in Vegas with that naming convention, or Atlantic City, yeah. That is one hell of a crowbar. That is a crowbar. See, if you want to... We'll get back to it a sec here, but if you want to talk about a match coming up for Double or Nothing, there very well could be a chance it could be Moxley Takeshita. Does Canada have a gambling debauchery center city? I'd say Winnipeg, just because, you know, it's the middle of nowhere. Toronto is basically your center of the world. We don't have a gambling strip because casinos are a lot less... They're a lot less popular up here than they are down there. And, what else? Where else could I talk? Oh, you know my pick for gambling debauchery center? The far north, because you're gambling with your life every time you're up there in the winter. White Horse needs to get on it then. Exactly, Zodiac. We were thinking about that. Same page. All right, we got a Swerve promo coming here. Let me get back to this here. They have to have at least one show in Vegas with that naming convention or Atlantic City. I think they go to Atlantic City next year. And that's the thing that's been talked about online today. Because I'm sorry, even though Mania picked the worst weekend of the year to have a WrestleMania in Vegas, not only because, you know, people actually like to spend time with their families at Easter, but they also, it's one of the worst travel weeks. I would say in Canada, it's one of the worst travel weeks. In the States, you guys have Thanksgiving. That's a little bit more in that case of being very bad airline traffic. So makes sense. Wonder if once the media deal gets signed, ends up on Max, so we get pay-per-views every month. Cause if they're going to go on Max, I could see them do it. I could totally see them doing a... They could end up doing the same thing that WWE does with Peacock, right? Because up here we're watching pay-per-views on the WWE Network. Well, the House of Black just said nope. We're not dealing with crap now. Hey, Kayla. Well, Copeland was coming out. You picked a good time to come out here. Because Copeland's coming out for his big... he wanted to ask Malakai if he wanted to work in a steel cage with him. And now all of a sudden the House of Black is absolutely destroying him. See them doing a Winter is Coming Fighter Fest or Fight for the Fallen as 3 pay-per-views. Very well could be. They're like special TV shows for them right now. Hey, and Jay Quick, if Warner is going to pay for all this extra stuff, he's damn well going to give them everything they want, right? But Kayla, I hope you're doing good today. We just finished having Danielson and Moxley defeat Jeff Cobb and Kyle Fletcher in an absolute humdinger of an opening match. 15 minutes of insanity. I guess... Hey, Crowder. Cope, you might want to page somebody. Maybe even, DDP. That'd be a hell of a page. What in the hell? So, sorry, Crowder. I'll get to the full docket here in a second. Malakai just took Adam Copeland's wedding ring. So what the hell are they coming up with here? See, the bet's going to be coming. Not necessarily, Zodiac. Because I do believe Beth has a Legends deal with WWE, which means she does get a small nominal fee for exclusivity. Well, they tried to save him. Well, Copeland's head's toast. I guess mission accepted here. If Cope needed partners, remember FTR trained him for his return. Yes, but they're already involved in Anarchy in the Arena, so I don't see them intermixing that right now. You gotta love it when a guy like Malakai just comes in and wipes the floor with everybody anytime he shows up. That is gonna be a fun match at the pay-per-view. Secretly he calls... That's who I think's gonna be the guy that shows up. The Vampire Warrior, because Gangrel's actually trademarked by some comic book company. Want crumbs being placed for a Christian team? I think it'll come. I think he's got to lose the title first. Reassemble the Edgeheads. Cardona's out till probably until September right now. He had shoulder surgery. So yeah, they're talking about the Kingston injury here. So sorry, Crowder. Now that we got a second here to breathe, we just had Moxley and Danielson defeat Kyle Fletcher and Jeff Cobb. Myers and Tony Khan can throw a few bucks and pull anybody out of anywhere, realistically, if it isn't WWE. We're getting, at the top of the hour, we're getting Swerve Strickland versus Brian Cage. I'm assuming our main event tonight is going to be the Bucks versus Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal. We're also getting Tony Storm versus Harley Cameron. And some interesting talking segments. I think that's the rest we got planned right now. A couple contract signings. Oh, yes. Jake Quick, my bad. I forgot it again. Okada versus Dax, which is going to be an absolute banger. So they are taking him out. Okay. Oh, this is perfect. Ooh, use the B word. One little thing that doesn't make sense but makes sense right now. If you guys checked out X earlier today, the former MLW champion EJ Nduka actually put out a post tonight saying tonight he's going to be on Dynamite. Or he's going to be at Dynamite, on Dynamite, somewhere in that range. Could he be that extra man there? You want to make somebody credible here in a hurry? Put him in with these three. Because they're not going to have any answer for Nduka. He's one of the most sought-after free agents right now. He's another... Trust me, he's not on the scale of Okada or Monet or Ospreay of that, but... Yeah, I'm with you, Jay Quick. The safest pick is to have Hangman or Claudio in there. I always like to try to think outside the box. Like, thinking the original stuff is just boring. Speaking of MLW, I like that their new tag team champions are a combined age of 105. Did the Rock and Roll Express win it? What if it was Chris Hero? It'd be fun. Do I see it happening? No. Chris does work some shows at West Coast Pro, mainly because he's the booker there and he can book whoever he wants in that scenario, but I just would love to see somebody out of the ordinary, right? Just here for Dax and Okada? You're not here for the Mercedes Mone Willow Nightengale signing? Oh, Kojima and Shigeru Okamura. Well, at least you know those titles will see a lot of bread coming up. Sorry, I don't know much about Okamura, but we all know about Kojima and the fact he loves his bread. Actually, I'm here for that, but I don't know if it'll be too crazy. Well, considering our other contract signing or set up for a contract, we got 3 of those tonight, actually, now that I think of it. We got a face-to-face between Roderick Strong and Will Ospreay tonight. And then we also have the TBS title signing tonight, so... Really? All right, we got shoe deals on Dynamite. Oh my God, here we go.
Hey guys, I'm here with FTR. Dax, tonight you have a Continental Championship match.
I love the camel gear that Renee's got on tonight.
I did hear from our EVPs, and unfortunately they're right. You guys are down a man heading into Anarchy in the Arena at Double or Nothing. What are you guys going to do?
First of all, they're not our EVPs. That's just Matt and Nick and Gus. But second of all, if you guys honestly think we're going to forfeit Double or Nothing to you guys, you think we're not going to come into Anarchy in the Arena 3-on-4, 2-on-4, 1-on-4, it doesn't matter to us. But I think maybe we found a fourth for Anarchy in the Arena. And Okada, name calling's not very nice, my friend. And by the company you keep, it looks like you're the elite's bitch. Maybe we'll find
Ooh.
top guys out.
Renee loves the response back. I love that Renee could actually be Renee. She doesn't have to be some stoic figure behind the scenes. Oh, they're gonna do Dax and Okada, man. That makes sense. Well, you can tell they have to start crouched in that little pod back there on the cultivator, right? So If you guys didn't check out last week, I think it was, I don't remember if it was, it would have had to have been on Saturday. I wasn't watching Wednesday. Duh. On Saturday, they Christopher Daniels was shown telling off the Bucks because he's tired of them getting, like, the Bucks and assuming we'll find out the fourth man in the main event. I would assume so. Whoa. Renee, go see if you see a horse. Oh, actually, that's pretty. I like these little nods back, right? With Frankie Kazarian's band playing his new music. I still love Daniels' music in TNA, though. It just seemed generic, but great. Now would be time to take out Okada since the other three are out there. Very, very much so, but the only person you got back there is Danielson, and he's too busy about honor, right? So I wonder if I love this personal Jesus riff off at a period of time in TNA, yeah. Oh yeah, the Fallen Angel, yeah. Jay Quick, I have to ask you something. Oh, I guess if Claudio does have a tire iron, that would make sense. But if you're talking about what he came out to the ring with earlier, if that's a tire iron, I want to see the size of that damn tire. Did the Bucks come down with a monster truck? I love the fact that Danielson can still go the way that he does. There is a mobile game promo, yeah. Like, it looks comparable to 2K Battlegrounds, which I didn't mind for a game. It's just once you get to a certain point, it just doesn't want to match up at all. But Jay Quick, we expect a complete report card by this time next week in regards to this mobile game and how it is. We'll need you to cover all the basics of it, the graphics, the sound, the gameplay, the history of the game. You know, that's very important as well. Now, if you need an example of that, you can check out the Retro Hangover podcast from this week where myself and Zodiac and Shane there, we were all checking out Killer Instinct. Yes, I can throw a cheap plug as bad as AEW can, and a lot easier, too. I'll give it a weird... No, I died. There's a difference, Zodiac. You always put your spin on everything. See, like, everybody talks about, oh, you killed it. Your first character uses the game is Jericho. Granted, if we're gonna have a character that's very bland, generic, not very good, and should be switched out as soon as possible, yeah, Jericho might be the best pick for that right now. So, kudos to AEW for thinking of it that way, if that's the case. Wow, that was a lot venomous. Then you get an Adam Cole pack. All right, I can take that. Oh, by the way, if any of you play my faction, if you load up the game today, I do believe the code is ECW Champs. You get an RVD, you get a Kane, and you get a Bobby Lashley for free today. So if you ever do my faction, it's ECW Champs. You can log in and use that locker room code. And I say that because I checked out the game before we started stream here, because I always want to make sure it's updated so we don't have to wait for much before we get going here after Dynamite tonight. Which, by the way, we are on week 22 here tonight for WWE 2K24 My GM mode. We are 3 weeks away from Mania, so next Saturday night will be our WrestleMania and our wrap-up to Season 1. Before we take a little bit of a hiatus here for a few weeks off the game. Well, once they figure out what they want to do with TV, we can figure out our schedule and we can go along with what they're doing with what we're going to be doing with shows here. We might throw a little bit of bonus wrestling after the each episode, but it'll be some different games that I have planned and whatnot. So one game I really want to get into here, as Sydal's getting absolutely worked in the corner here. One game I do have, and I'm waiting for the DLC to come out, is Retromania Wrestling. It's supposed to be the real successor to WrestleFest. And it does feel like that when you play it. But they're supposed to be adding Demolition into the... Wonder when the media deal is signed, what do they do with Rampage? What I think is they're actually going to set up that Rampage is going to take place immediately following one of the two shows, and I'm going to guess it's going to be on Saturday. And they'll treat Rampage in a similar sense to what Raw Underground was supposed to be. Not that they really have to change much of anything, but it'll have that sort of that same, yes, we're the same show, but we're not the same show kind of deal every week. The only problem they had in WWE was the fact that they had Shane McMahon in charge of the whole thing. And once again, everybody, on Saturday, we're going back to back with Collision and Rampage. We'll be here for both, and then week 23 of my GM. Well, he was going to go for the BME. I don't think he's going to go for it anymore. Sydal sent to the outside. That's never good. Yeah, Daniels is always dressed to the nines when he's out there. So, if we have Matthew and Nicholas, why are we not calling Mr. Perry Jackson? That's one thing I'm wondering. You know, if you want to be an absolute heel, that's the way you can do it. Oh, here we go. EVP driver. TK driver, EVP driver, whatever you want to call it. No, not really. We're not really surprised that you got a victory here. I would love to see Dax win this Continental Championship tonight, but I think we all know that ain't gonna happen, but all right, what you gotta say? Gonna fire him right now. All right, well, he's fired. Gonna fire him at home. Oh, great. Assuming the Elite start beating down FTR and Danielson, then we see the... Yeah, that'll probably be what happens tonight. So I think Daniels ends up back at I don't think he's gone. I love Shibata. Could Daniels be the fourth guy? I don't know. Maybe. I don't think you get that pop with him.
Timeless Toni Storm. Tonight you were in a quote grudge match with Harley Cameron, but I've also just been informed that Saraya, Mariah, and Luther have all been banned from ringside for.
So there's an actual reason for this.
Back to last week, you were viciously laid out by your Double or Nothing opponent, Serena Deeb. How have you been feeling?
First things first. My maternal instincts have been kicking in and my ovaries must be heard. Harley Cameron! You were to assault and abuse a sweet angelic child, then you'll have to answer to the bosom that she clings to.
Mira would be... That would be a hell of a pick.
To the watch out. Oh, Serena Deeb, thank you for knocking me out so I didn't have to listen to another second of your sob story. Yeah, you wanna hitch yourself to this caboose? You're in for a bumpy ride. And I promise that you will end Double or Nothing just like every other degenerate in Las Vegas. Flat on your back with an arse in your face, wondering where the bloody hell your dignity went. And tonight, you can bet your bottom dollar on this old whore that you all adore that everything is coming up. Chin, tits, shoe.
All right, so just to clarify here right now. Sorry, forgot to hit the mute. Pizza ain't paying the bills here, so. Saraya is actually going to be on the she's taping today an episode of Punk'd. So she's going to be on that show in the upcoming weeks here. Now, Catfish. That's what the name of the show is. Because, I don't know. Do you think Saraya's been catfished a few times? Just a few times? But anyway. That's why they had to set up the stipulation. Actually makes a lot of sense. But yeah, if Miro showed up, I really do think that the Bucks would legit crap themselves in the ring. Because how are you going to get rid of that guy? He's literally a tank. But could they end up putting... They could end up putting Daniels there. You could be surprised. Bucks like, nope, we quit. And no. They'll try and find some technical way to get around this or whatnot, but out of all this, I do feel that whoever's coming into this match is going to be the one to eat the pin. Because frankly, I don't see the Elite losing at all until Omega's back. I think they're going to hold out and they're going to try to and set it up that Kenny's the hero, right? I'd love for it to be Scorpio. Well, after what happened and after the promos that they've been pushing, Scorpio Sky actually would be a hell of a good pick too. If they push it the right way, because automatically, if you're going to use Scorpio Sky as that fourth guy in a match with all those big players, the only safe bet about that is Scorpio would be the guy that fight with Perry. And who did Scorpio bring in? That's the question I got here. No, it was the other way around. Daniels brought in Scorpio. They were part of SCU. Yeah, the former tag partner, I get that. That makes a lot of sense. And I'd love to see it, but at the same time... Oh. Okay. Oh. If he wasn't injured, I'd say the fourth guy could have been Darby. Yeah, that would have made the most sense out of all that. Because he's the one guy that you want to... That's the one guy you'd want to push to the moon with those other guys. And the fight between Darby and Jack would be epic. So is this going to be Nduka? Nope. Former Love Pro Wrestling star Sebastian Wolfe from the old BC area, doing a ton of work throughout Defy and NEW. He's worked, like I said, he's worked Love Pro here in Edmonton. Recently split up with his tag partner, I do believe, if my memory serves me right. The big bad wolf. Hey, Jay, how you doing here? How you doing here tonight? Hope you're doing well. If you, for anybody that's missed the show so far, we had ready to watch some wrestling. We've had 2 really good matches so far. 2 tag matches in Jeff Cobb and Kyle Fletcher losing to Danielson and Mox. And then the Bucks defeated Matt Sydal and Christopher Daniels after the well, we're not supposed to say that word. You guys put that word in chat and look what happens. Thank you very much. I can't blame you guys. You know, it's. No, this is setting up for Double or Nothing as always. We have to get one more match in. But the other match, Christopher Daniels ends up getting fired by the Bucks after the match. We also had Malakai Black attack, or the House of Black, attack Copeland as he was coming down to have a one-on-one face-to-face with Malakai. Malakai ends up stealing Copeland's ring. And now the stipulation is you get your ring back if you win. If you lose, you got to bend the knee to House of Black. So. And FTR said in the promo they got a 4th guy because Kingston's now out. When that match ended at 36, I knew the Larry Tree was coming. Can Enzo come up? Wait, no, hear it better yet.
No, please, no.
We do not want Real One coming out. Less selfish like Jericho. I love it. Please retire is up. That's great. Go to every wrestling Hall of Fame in the world. That means you're not wrestling anymore. It could be 2-on-1. You need backup. Who's more selfish than Chris Jericho? Ooh. Now you gotta face Bill next week. This is how he says that he's a world champion.
Chris, that's great. Sounds great. You know what else sounds good?
Oh, yeah, here comes the 2-on-1. Is there anybody else here to help out? Probably not. Maybe Danhausen. What? Okay. This makes sense. Shibata. This makes a lot of sense. Ugh. So who's bleeding? Jericho's bleeding. He bladed himself? Oh, here we go. Countdown. Do, 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 do.
Your boy brought home a world championship. This past weekend on Collision, I ended a chapter of my life that was called the Mogul Embassy. Toro Leone and Bishop Conde bit the hand that fed them, and they got put down. My focus now is at Double or Nothing coming up against Christian Cage. We'll get to that soon. I was the one that got put in the coffin, yeah, sure. But I'm the one that's going to put you in your grave.
Nice. I love this.
Bryan Cage, say to yourself, the final nail in that coffin of the Mogul Embassy. Everybody, welcome Bryan Cage to whose house?
There we go. So no commercial break or anything. All right. This is in honor of Prince Nana, as we hope he is healing well. I hope he's in good spirits. I hope he's ready to come back stronger than ever. All right, here we go. And I swerve when I drive, and I swerve when I drive, and we're gonna beat a Cage because we gotta get some rage, then we're gonna beat the I screwed that one up. I'm gonna do this to myself right now. That was horrible on my end. I had it all in my. I actually rehearsed one too tonight. I am so embarrassed of myself. I'm sorry, chat. I'm gonna have to see if McGee can do a better one here at the pay-per-view. So, see that I'm so disheveled because of Prince Nana not being here. I can't even do the swerve dance properly. Nana, yeah, I know. Oh, I'm sorry, Nana. I let you down. Ugh. Disgusting. I hope he's back for next Sunday. But I will say I am looking forward to this just for the fact that, Bryan Cage is an absolute star. Oh, he went with the tights tonight. Or he went to trunks tonight, not the tights. Was hoping he was going to go with his Streets of Cage gear tonight, but good on Cage finally getting a little bit more exposure, though. Like ever since last summer when they started the tag tournament, him and Big Bill against, I think it was Sydal and Martin. And actually, it's great to see Aubrey in there too, because the whole Seattle connection. Because this is Aubrey was talking about it on X today. This is one of the few shows she actually gets to drive to. Love that gear on Swerve tonight. Oh my goodness. So is Brian Cage in the patriarchy? No. Based on the way the story went, as it showed up in a promo following the attack last or I guess it would have been last Saturday. No, the Saturday before, when they had the attack that. Oh no, it was last Wednesday. I was there. That makes sense. So Brian Cage was part of Swerve Strickland's faction known as the Mogul Embassy. Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment here. Basically, the Gates of Agony and Cage barely got used on AEW TV, and that's where they use this whole scenario. Then backstage, Christian said it was rather convenient that these two guys are available. Cage set this all up, as in Brian Cage, with the EVPs prior to him coming out. And yeah, Brian Cage has come a long way since being disgruntled with AEW. And there's a couple things that have come up. First of all, having your wife go out and complain about your spot on a promotion is never a good thing, and that's actually what happened way back when. I was actually watching an interview that Cage was doing this week, and he actually talked about how just after he signed with AEW, he was at his last Impact taping just wrapping things up, and that's when he got that injury to his arm. And Tony Khan actually offered to pay for the surgery and offered to bring him in to use the Jags doctors to do it. Because let's face it, the NFL medical staffs are probably some of the best in the world. Just because they got the money for it, right? Brian Cage goes on to explain that while he appreciated the offer of using their doctors, he had to already have scheduled the surgery because an injury like that, like a bicep or a tendon like that, if you don't get it dealt with right away, apparently scar tissue starts to form as it's trying to heal itself, and it just removes a lot of the strength that you would have had permanently. Or you'd have to go in for a second surgery to clean out that scar tissue to get back to where you were. And yeah, literally, I'd like to see Brian Cage utilized a lot more. Like, he is in a position, he could have been in a position when he started here, sort of where Samoa Joe was. Like, he could have been that monster to hold the TNT title and just nobody was going to get in his way. He is a machine, and that's not just juxtaposition, that's just the way. Oh my goodness. I love how Cage's arm was hurting, and then all of a sudden he has enough time to pose. It's actually really funny when you think about it here. Childhood is loving Wardlow. Maturity is loving Bryan Cage. That's fair. That's fair. I think there's a lot more growing up that Wardlow needs to do, both physically and mentally in many ways. Just to, and I'm not saying he's an idiot. Far from it. It's just Bryan Cage has that tenure. Bryan Cage has that experience. Bryan Cage has more of an it factor than what Wardlow can get you the instant pop. Bryan Cage has learned how to keep the pop going. And I think Cage's time with AAA and CMLL really did help in developing what Bryan Cage is at right now, right? Storm and Cameron wrestled yet? No. One thing you'll find out going forward here, Jay, when it comes to AEW and their women's matches on Dynamite, it's usually very consistently a quarter after the first hour. So like in the second hour, I got a feeling it's probably going to be a little bit later because they have this eliminator match. It's probably going to go till quarter after. Then they'll do the Monet and Nightengale contract signing just to settle things down a little bit. Then you bring out Cameron and Storm for that match. Then after that match, they're probably going to do the Roderick Strong, Roderick Strong, Will Ospreay face to face. Which, let's face it, these contract signings, these between the contract signing and between these face to faces, these could be just 1 minute segments for all we know. But our main event is going to be Okada versus Dax for the Continental Championship, which means, and this is very important, there's no outside interference allowed in the Continental Championship. The rule is supposed to be if you interfere, you get fired. Which realistically, Christopher Daniels could come in, interfere. He's already been fired, so it doesn't really matter. God, I'm always impressed. Like, don't get me wrong, Claudio does it great, but it's so effortless for Cage. Yeah. Jay, if it makes you feel any better, I forgot twice so far tonight. I think Jay Quick can confirm that I forgot twice and he had to remind me twice. But it makes sense that that's our main event here because this week you work on the Anarchy in the Arena match being your highlight main event. Next week, you focus on your heavyweight title being the main event. So Swerve and Christian are going to get some kind of face-off in the main event. Or the main event spot. I love how Shivani's already mentioning it. Jesus. I forgot to save my overrun. If you are recording this, do yourself a favor and throw an extra half hour on the DVR. I have a PVR I use just in case, and if I want to go back and check any details from earlier. But yeah, I got to feel we're probably going to be going a good 15 minutes overtime tonight. At least. The hell? My God. Swerve's got some abs. Hey, KJ, good to see you back. Did you miss Jericho? Actually, sorry, no. There you go. That's the one you need. So yeah, apparently we're getting a... The wrestling gods are on your side. Yes, they were. Basically, we're getting a multi-man... trying to go Weapon X. Oh, here we go. So Weapon X is sort of, if I do remember right, a Weapon X is similar to a Sister Abigail, except you got the legs hooked together on the back. Oh God. F5 everywhere. But yeah, they're going to have a multi-man match where Hook's going to defeat multiple people to get a shot at Jericho once again. Which will probably mean he has to face Big Bill first. But yeah, we still have a women's match, 2 contract signings. Sorry, a contract signing, a face-to-face, and a Continental Championship match. So we still got quite a bit here. And I got a feeling we're probably going to be about 20 minutes overrun tonight. This is gonna suck. At least Cage landed square on his back instead of on his head. He knew just the time to release it too. Oh. All right, little tidbit into wrestling that saved his ass there. Did you notice that right at the last second, Cage slid his butt down so he could fall straight down? The 450 ain't gonna do it. Nope. He's got to hit some finishers. You got to hit that right stick. Swerve's just hitting that right button on AEW Fight Forever. He's not hit, or the left D-pad. He's not flicking that left stick here, or the right stick. Question for you, Chad. How many of you in here have played AEW Fight Forever? Like, I still have my copy because I still feel like I probably am going to go back to it a little bit. You have not? One thing about that game, and if anybody here is new to it, make sure you don't get it at full price, because the DLC is basically the equivalent to a full game every time. And that's one of the most frustrating parts about that game right now, is just the pricing structure. If they would have brought it back down to... Still waiting for Game Pass, that ain't happening. I think it should. That arm is way too strong. Wasn't that the... All right, this one's over. Let's just get... House call. after he missed that first standing stomp, meteor, whichever way you want to call it, it's actually pretty smart to finish it with the house call and just be done with it. I appreciate every fan in the audience still trying to show their support for Nana by doing the dance. I am sorry that I failed you all tonight in such a poor performance. I don't mind this. But at the same time, if you're a first-time fan coming in to see this, you're almost looking like Cage is the hero that's trying to save Brian Cage. It's almost like completely flipped. Glad to see Mama Wayne dressed up for the occasion. On Sonny Boy. Yam Bag Yahtzee. That's Nick Wayne's mother, who basically turned on Adam Copeland, actually, after Copeland ended up hitting Nick Wayne with hit him with a concerto one time. So Nick Wayne's mom came in for some kind of heroic save, which didn't make much sense. But yeah, that's Nick Wayne's mom. That is now officially Mother Wayne, the matriarch of the household. And Swerve's squirting. Well, there's another canvas that needs to get redone. That's a bit of blood, yeah. Ooh. It's only a week and a half, not 2 weeks. All right, I like the story that they're going with here. I do love that Christian is a credible challenger, sort of in between of where we're going with this, because realistically, there's only 2 pay-per-views between now and Wembley, right? Because we got Double or Nothing coming up, and then we got Forbidden Door coming up June 30th. So we need to find an opponent for there. Reports are right now that MJF might not be ready for Double or Nothing, or sorry, for Forbidden Door in his hometown. I see him coming out for a promo, but I don't see him coming out for anything else. Could you imagine he just doesn't show up, period, and everybody really wonders if he's leaving for the Fed? It would be pretty damn amazing if that's the case, but Just so we line things up a little better here, I'm going to run the ad that we're supposed to run in 5 minutes. I'll run it now so we're not getting it against main events. So, just so we run it during commercial breaks here, makes it a little easier for everybody here. The Celtics take out the Cavs tonight and move on. So, congratulations to the Celtics, who are probably going to end up taking the Knicks on. That's going to be a fun series, even though, you know, a little bit of craziness there. I really did hope Indiana would get through there, but it's going to be tough tomorrow to see if Indy can come back and force a Game 7. Yeah, I don't talk much basketball on here, but I should. Lord knows I don't talk much hockey on here, and, you know, just watching some of these crazy commercials that are coming up here. But no, I'm thinking after the break we'll probably get either the face-to-face or a contract signing, one or the other. Because, well, I understand significant overrun, but how much are they actually going to allow? Could they actually put us in a position where we're at an extra 20, 25 minutes? That would actually be pretty shocking if you ask me. The only thing that adds up to me that they would get away with something like that, they originally had the spots set up for hockey, right? For hockey playoffs, for baseball, or for basketball playoffs. And there's no games on at that time. So it was just some extra time that they had to fill anyway. So Tony Khan probably just turned around and said, "Please, sir, can I have some more?" You had the heads out there. "Please, sir, can I have some more?" Oh, here's the new show they were talking about. This is going to be fun. If you guys haven't had a chance to see, oh, it's on TBS's YouTube channel, so yeah, you can go right there. Hey, I got a like from EJ and Duca. Hehe.
The odds cannot mean less to me. Whoever I need to beat to get my hands on Jericho, I will beat.
Even me?
What do you mean?
I want another shot at Jericho, too.
Push comes to shove. Look for Shibata to get their hands on Jericho. That's fine by me.
Wow, really?
He's too large to be wearing a floral pattern.
Renee tried not to burst out laughing. That's amazing. Even Shawani can. The guys at the desk are great too. Oh, they actually mentioned Warner Brothers Studios in her intro now. I think they used to say just Hollywood Street or something. Now, I gotta say, Harley impressed me last week. When she took on Mariah May in Edmonton, I got a chance to watch that match live, and I was actually a lot more impressed than I thought it would be with Harley in that matchup. Because, let's face it, she hasn't been on TV all year. She was barely on TV last year. Young in her career, but definitely has a lot of potential. That pretty much you can say that about most of the women's division here in AEW. All they need is time, and that's something that, you know, I know we were talking about a new show coming for AEW, which I do remember I have to get back to that. I want to talk about that Meal and a Match show. But these women just deserve... Everybody was thinking there would maybe a women's show that would start. And maybe we do get that in the future. Maybe that is that third hour of wrestling that we're talking about here. But we'll see. But speaking of that Meal and a Match that we just talked about that's available on YouTube, I grew up in the time of Dinner and a Movie on TBS. Because what they would actually do is have a movie on, and then instead of commercials, it would be segments with somebody sitting down having a meal, and they're talking about the movie, talking about themselves, putting whatever over. Taz Press, Fists of Fire! Where's Stone Cold when you need him? I do have to think that this match is a bit of a misstep here coming up at Double or Nothing, because Deeb's trying to be a face. Damn it, Mike, don't make me miss the... Oh, God. I remember those every Saturday night, and it literally was right after WCW Saturday Night that they would have these dinner and movie segments. And it would never be the top movies. It never would. But I've always been a fan of those second level movies. Like the ones that win the Oscars, I can really give two craps about. It's the ones I want to enjoy to watch. But yeah, like what I was saying just before that, sorry, before you comment there, Zodiac. There's been a real misstep in this Toni Storm Serena Deeb matchup where I think it really came to a head last week, and all thanks to our jerk Edmonton fans. Serena was trying to come out and give her big promo about having to fight, I believe it was cancer that she had. A crippling illness that she had. And the Edmonton fans were having absolutely none of it. The Let's Go Oilers chant, that was absolutely uncalled for, but my thought was do something to make it not uncalled for. Nobody gave a crap about... Nobody's had time to get behind Serena Deeb here to get her into a position where people are excited to see her. Sorry, seizures. There we go. Thank you, Zodiac. If you're going to throw a story out like that, establish somebody first, and then that could be the extra little sympathy vote that you get to bring them in that much more. But just trying to throw it out there that, you know, out of the blue that I was recovering from seizures and now I get a chance to get back what I feel I deserve. That works if you had to have somebody there who's been fighting for a year. Deeb barely had any... she had a great feud with Hikaru Shida, right? The promo style doesn't help. She needed to be in... You know what, Zodiac? I almost think the fact that she wasn't in the ring saved her there. Because the entire crowd was just not having it. And if your entire crowd's not having it, I'd rather have them segregated in a certain area where they could play that audible to get Toni Storm out there sooner. Because I actually have to go back and check out the video, but they might have had a 7-second delay in the promo. But I don't know if Deeb actually literally stopped. As the Oilers chant was going on, Deeb literally stopped, turned around, looked at the crowd in disgust, and then resumed her promo again. But yes, they do need to recognize that made it into the live show. Okay, so I thought maybe they'd use the 7-second delay on that. But oh my goodness. Fisherman suplex perfectly executed. Edmonton looked awful. I don't feel bad about saying that. They were good for about the first third of the show. And we only had, I think it was just like 4,000. It was nowhere near the first time. You don't need to apologize, because I completely agree with you. Basically there was a little lull there between the Deeb promo, the Jericho match, where the crowd just, and honestly they never really got him back. Copeland got that pop that I think was one of the biggest pops I've ever heard. But once the match got going, it was okay. Like, don't get me wrong, it just, now that you got that adrenaline go away from it. Wow, okay. Harley's showing her work. And Harley loses her headband at the same time. That was nice. But yeah, the only thing I feel happy about in a way is when it switched over from the Dynamite to the ROH tapings, we expected a lot more people to leave. I would say maybe a third of the people left. The way they filmed the ROH tapings, you would never tell because they turned the lights down for everywhere but the front 3 or 4 rows. But yeah, in terms of the crowd, 2/3 of it pretty much stayed. Toni Storm telling Pizza.
I'm here with the international champion Roderick Strong and the Undisputed Kingdom, as well as the man who leads
Wardlow looks so interested to be there.
Will Ospreay. Now, Will, you are no stranger to championship gold, but how does this feel different?
I mean, the feel like the world's eyes are definitely on me, but there's a sour taste in my mouth, especially after last week. Shane Taylor do at work, you just stand over me, you and your Bellend little mates.
Belland.
Mate. Look, Bellend 1, Bellend 2, big vein Bellend over here. But you know what I hate the most about this, mate? I hate the most that you are so comfortable around me with that championship. And there's only 2 reasons why you can be that comfortable. Number 1, if I lunge over there, put my hands around your throat, I get the feeling these guys are going to get involved. And number 2, maybe it's because I've retired the Tiger Drive at 91. Now, I have no idea what type of mind games that you are playing, son, but I want me to unretire.
After this, would love to see Deeb move into the TBS picture. She could wrestle. Yeah, like, get into that division where that mid-card title is more of a... is going to be more of a workhorse title, I feel. Like, I think Mercedes is going to want to put matches in, right? I honestly don't know which way it's going to go. I would say that you put Mercedes over in her first match. But really, that reaction of Willow at the wrestling club when she showed up this week after they were watching Athena versus Willow, it resonated. It really resonated with me. It almost feels like Willow could be in a spot if she ends up losing, moving up to take on the main card title. I love this new version of Roddy right now. You want to put that title on somebody to make it really go nuts here. You put it on Ospreay. And he's actually made a promise if he wins the title, he's going to take it to that softwood wrestling thing in Uganda. And they got a championship belt now, so having Ospreay there will put a ton of eyes on the product. And all just from a YouTube thing. Or a I think it's either YouTube or Twitter, one or the other. At least Mercedes ain't taking half an hour to get out now. Look at Glamorous as always here tonight. But yeah, I wonder if they're actually going to have any table abuse in this. Usually that's the case in these. Anybody betting on table abuse here tonight? Just the kind of table they're using, it makes sense, right?
And now please welcome our champion, the face of TBS, Willow Nightengale.
I love that Mercedes' reaction was priceless there. The face of TBS. Ugh. Gyro popped you, yeah. It's fun that she's playing it up the way that she is. All right. Stokely and Statlander being sent to the back. There's going to be something there. Like Stokely and Statlander. I know that I think the best way to put it is they're WWE-fied. Where we always have to see that breakup. Bets on Brawl? Maybe. Think that mystery person appears? I don't think she appears till next Sunday. Because they haven't referenced it since.
Of Mercedes Mone. So without further ado, champ, you're up first. Sign away, make it official.
Should always be the challenger signing first. What the heck?
I do respect you. I've said it before, and I really do mean that. I respect you. I respect everything you've done in your career. But I need to know,
I like this promo.
dates back over 50 years on this very channel. A legacy built on fighting, on hard work, dedication, and defending. Making a name for yourself in the face of obstacles. That is something that every woman who's held this title represents. That's what my friend Chris Statlander in the back represents.
All right.
And now I'm
Statlander pop.
of TBS.
Oh, they giving lots of overrun time here tonight.
Every time this smiling face walks on down in the ring, you see on my Titantron, nothing matters. Smile anyway.
Heh.
And to me, that means through all the doom and gloom, I look for something to smile for. My smile is my strength. And professional wrestling is just that. And this title is what matters to me.
All right. I like this.
I am not gonna let you just walk into AEW and take that away. Not now, not a double or nothing, never.
All right. Mercedes going to get into her generic promo probably, but let's hope not.
Please say hello to your CEO.
Oh, we're getting booze. We're getting the booze. Transformation almost complete.
Legacy to me? You know, money changes everything is not just a catchphrase.
Face.
It's a fact.
Yeah, Willow is a good baby face.
Brooklyn, while you were still training, I was out here creating and changing the game forever. You want to talk about dedication? Scratching and clawing your way to the top? What about breaking down the doors and kicking down glass ceilings? That's what I did.
You got to give Mercedes credit. She literally quit her job
You wouldn't
because she couldn't break a glass ceiling.
Hello? And look, I respect you. I have so much respect for you. I think you are a great champion. But there's a difference between being great and being the greatest of all time.
Oh, oh, she threw it out. She threw it out. She threw the word go.
Talk about the face of TBS. I mean, you should be looking at the new face of TBS. That's right. I know you see me on the red carpet throwing out the first pitches, sitting courtside because that's what a CEO does.
I wonder if Tony Cobb paid for those seats now.
I know the best part of your career was beating me, but at Double or Nothing, now that I am healthy, you losing will still be the best part that ever happened to you. Because my legacy, it's all about winning.
I don't know. This one could go either way, really.
You keep believing that.
Hey, Rubik's, they're in Everett tonight. Yes.
You wrestled. I walked away a champion.
Mercedes makes you want to boo you. Absolutely.
And you didn't walk out at all.
Oh! Ooh! Sweet! Little south. Yeah, they're doing their northwest circuit right now. Oh my goodness! Wow! I did not expect that. Unfortunately, that pretty much locks it in for me that Mercedes is winning that title. Samson's in there immediately. Oh my God, I can't work. Oh my God, I can't, you know. Willow getting screwed for sure, yeah. All right, let me throw the mute up there. But yeah, I watch this. I can't wrestle, but I have a suitable replacement. Rebecca Knox. I'm kidding. Her contract's not up till June, but no, absolutely. That was a very good segment to put things together here. So I like how they're putting an exclamation point on this match so they don't really have to talk about it next week. Could you imagine a Team Bay reunion? It's not as far-fetched as you think, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'll be the first to admit it. But at the same time, when Lynch puts out a picture of Toni Khan holding her book 3 weeks before we know her contract expires, like I said, I don't think at all that I think Lynch is going to re-sign, but could you just imagine? Just give yourself a second to think. Yeah, the obnoxious outfits and attitudes, like, yeah. It's nice to dream it. I don't think it's going to happen in a million years. I'll say that. But just, could you imagine? And the best part is, when Lynch's contract's done, it's done. There's no 90-day or anything. So, let's put it this way. At King and Queen of the Ring, we'll know. We'll know how close it is. So, we'll know how close things really are. Since Lynch is taking on Liv Morgan over there. So, if it's if it's not just daydreaming and there's a slight possibility, Morgan wins the title there. Straight up. But since this is the last full commercial break of the night here, I usually give a roundup of what we're doing up forward. I'm going to skip ahead to a week and a half from now. And I don't know if I mentioned it to you guys before, but I can make it official that for Double or Nothing, even though I got to get the graphic done, I am going to be joined by McG here for the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. He's going to be on camera. We're going to be discussing lifetimes, wrestling. Get your thoughts and comments. Invite your friends. Tell your friends he's going to be here as well. I want things to be big for him being here because he is a very special person and a really great guy. So make sure you pop in for that. I will be on tomorrow with Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I might try to get on a little earlier than 1 o'clock. I advertised for 1 o'clock. But we might get on here a little sooner. Friday, we're going to fire up the Backbreaker Fight Club. Still contemplating between a couple options here on what we're going to play in the Fight Club. Either Street Fighter, Guilty Gear Strive, maybe a little bit of... Hell, we could even do Smash Brothers or Brawlhalla at this point. Maybe some KI. We're all over the board. Saturday, we'll be here with AEW Collision and Rampage. Followed by week 23 of WWE 2K24. And then this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Mountain. Not what my graphic says in my X. No, don't worry about that. I'm going to be joined by the one, KJ, here for a little Mario Golf Super Rush. If any of you are interested in joining us as well, please let me know and we can get you set up here. Since you're here on Twitch with me, we can... if you just want to go audio, fine. If you want to come video, it's very easy to set up, so... I love Renee. I love Renee. So for the Continental Championship division, they are doing sort of a sideline reporter thing. And the fact that she just turns around that area. Yes, I talked to Dax earlier. There's a lot of things I can't say right now, so we're just going to leave it at that. But yeah, yes, I know KJ, I know you're excited about it. If anybody else wants to join us, like I said, feel free. I will send a post out later on, probably tomorrow, if anybody wants to join us. Time to get a few rounds in, and you know what? Let's let baseball settle in a little bit, because right now MLB The Show is starting to lose a little bit of its luster. So Sundays we're gonna switch it up here. Missed the stream announcement with McGee. Yeah, that just before that, we're Double or Nothing next Sunday. McGee will be my special guest on here. We'll be chatting. We will be chatting all about All Elite Wrestling and a whole bunch of other things because, you know, McGee's a very interesting guy. So make sure you come loaded with questions and but yeah, if you guys like what you see here, please make sure you're following us here. And if you really like what you see here, consider subscribing. Subscribing just helps out the whole channel here. Helps me set up a whole bunch of these things. Just upgrade the internet here, so hopefully the streams are a little more smooth, I think is the best way to put it here. A little less lag in terms of when we're talking versus what we're seeing. Now, Dax is actually... I feel Dax is actually going to be a very smart opponent for Okada. Because Dax does run that old school style. It's sort of like what we said on Saturday with Tommy Billington. And this very well could be the... this could be sort of a reward for him having that match with Tommy and having it go so well. I'm just looking at the screen on the bottom to see what things are being double taped or not. I can see that the June 9th episode of Collision is going to be pre-taped, so... That was a long bit of and Okada's just got that cocky look on his face. And this is definitely... They're going to get a lot of spare time out of this. I wonder what was scheduled to be on... I'm going to look this up real quick here while we're hanging out here. TBS schedule, May 15th, 2024. What do they have listed after? Oh, they got Modern Family after this. They got 5, 6. They got Modern Family on until 2 in the morning. All right, yeah, I think they definitely can. I think with the fact that they have reruns, I think they have enough time to put a little extra wrestling on. The thing is, with an episode of Modern Family, you can cut the credits out early at the end like they do with their movies and then just move on to the next one. Sort of like the way you do on your streaming channels. By the way, watched the last episode of X-Men 97 today over breakfast. My God, did they do a fantastic job on that. I know Andre and Ed are going to be talking about that on Marvel Talk here, which you'll be able to catch on YouTube later on, or if you're not sticking around for our 2K24 section, which I do highly recommend you do, because we can talk wrestling, talk about a lot of things as we go. They're going to be chatting about it over on Marvel Talk on the Our Local Establishment channel. They'll be talking about the last 3 shows put together here. I love the fact that Dax is he's got one free foot, so he decides he just wants to start booting Okada in the back of the head to try and get him off of him. But yeah, I think we were all right this earlier tonight where we said, yeah, there is going to be somehow the fourth man's going to be appearing here. It's either going to be here or next week. But I think you do it here because you do have this match in the main event spot. Next week, I would honestly put Strickland and Cage somewhere in this main event spot. Just because that is the other big match that you want to advertise. God, do I love a good spine buster. Spine on the pine. Dax is going to be pretty much perpetual K-tape here by the time he's all done. My God, Okada. That drop kick. Like, Okada's so damn good. The only thing is, in North America, he really hasn't been tested to have to show off what he really can do. Like, wait till they get 30 minutes with Kenny Omega. Because you got to assume they're going to do that match sooner or later, right? Once everything gets cleaned up with Omega and his diverticulitis. As long as everything gets back to 100%. I love how everybody's talking about sticklers right now. Okay, that was a DDT. JY versus Okada has to happen at some point too. I would assume so, but right now, the double heel that they have right now, it just, I don't know. Oh, and it's some positive news. If you didn't hear, Cash Wheeler's domestic assault charge, or assault with a weapon, case got dropped. I believe it was yesterday. So he is free to fly to Wembley. He'll be free to come out of the country. He's a free man at this point. Why would you try crawling up the stairs? That's what I'm wondering. And Dax does the miracle jump. Dax fight like an 8-year-old girl. Yeah, that makes sense. I like how he's going to go for the Rainmaker, but this is actually a very smart strategy to fix it. If you're dead weight, he can't spin you around. One German. Two German. Good to go for the 3 German, but you're not winning, so you don't get your 3rd. Whoa, that was a nice shot. Dax never throws a dragon suplex. What the heck? Well, they're definitely giving him a lot of time tonight, so. But yeah, join us on Saturday because we're going to have a ton of great matches here. They're already listing the graphics down below. Like Ospreay and Taylor is going to be fantastic. We're getting Anna Jay in a match, which, you know, can always be a good thing. Serena Deeb getting a tune-up. Oh, and now Robin Renegade gets to be the human piranha between Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa. Robin Renegade took on Thunder Rosa last week, and now she's going to take on her enemy, Deonna Purrazzo, this week. Dax trying to fall back, but ends up falling into the... On that air raid crash right on the knee. That was actually pretty cool. Dax is the king of the 2.9s. Like Dax, Joe, MJF, Roman Reigns. For all the crap we give him, he is the king of the 2.9999999. Dax is going to go for the top rope superplex. That's okay. Normally he goes to the second rope, I thought. All right. Whatever works. Just hear the thunk there. So we're getting close to the... I'd assume we're getting close to the conclusion, but... Could you just imagine all the casuals that were turning in to see Modern Family or seeing this? This is like pulling into triple overtime for a hockey game. 3 hours later, you're expecting the news, and all of a sudden, you see a hockey fight break out. I would love to see, if it's Anarchy in the Arena, see it bust out into the UFC Apex. Okay. Reverse, reverse, reverse. Jackknife. Oh, there we go. This long into the match, they're still doing reversals like that. This is actually pretty cool. Oh, God. Beautiful tombstone by Dax. Like, this is a very hard hitting and a very exciting match. Just trying to find the right words for it. Where for the headbutt, that's never good if you're going to miss that. Block the Rainmaker again. Now he gets the sharpshooter. Third time's a charm. That's what happens when you're not 100% trying to apply it. Makes sense. Great bit of storytelling here by both guys. Low blow. There it is. Of course they're going to finish it that way. It's a cheap way to win, but you know what? It also leaves a lot of stuff wide open for what we can do in the future, right? All right, looks like we're going to get our fourth man here pretty quick. Cash and Danielson. Now, do they get laid out or do we hear its music? And Perry... Well, there's our answer. Jay Quick called it. Seattle's own. He's from the area, so this is a good place to make a return. But for Team AEW, that feud between Perry and Darby... Jay White broke his ankle, you ditz. If you want somebody in a crazy match like Anarchy in the Arena, that makes sense. Darby coming in his hometown, this pop. All right. I could see that being, a sensible replacement for Eddie. But I can see Claudio going out of his flipping mind right now because it was bad enough with Eddie Kingston, all the crazy stuff he would do. In many ways, Kingston is old man and crazy. Darby is like 15 times worse. This man put himself through a pane of glass trying to get rid of the Bucks. Like, what is he going to do in a match like this? But I'm glad to see Darby's back. Like, because of a shattered ankle, he was not able to climb Everest. But now that it's healed up, at least he can get it back to work, right? So fitting him into this matchup and actually getting the return here at just prior to Double or Nothing in Everett, Washington, which is right near where he where he's been all the time. So, yeah, well, makes you wonder, but I'm not going to argue about it. I don't want to think too hard. Hey, McG, what did you miss here? Shibata punked Joe for wearing a floral outfit. Mercedes went through a table thanks to Willow Nightengale. What else? Jeff Cobb and Kyle Fletcher lost to Moxley and Danielson. Oh, and Darby Allin is now the fourth man to replace Eddie Kingston in the Anarchy in the Arena match. It's Swerve. An added stipulation has been made to the TNT Championship match. Malakai Black stole Copeland's. Brody King is going to test that theory out someday, McG. Let's just face it. We're going to have a new stipulation be added to Copeland versus Black at a barbed wire cage match. If Malakai stole Copeland's wedding ring tonight, so I'm assuming that Copeland gets the wedding ring back if he wins. If Malakai wins, Copeland has to bend the knee to the House of Black. So basically, we could end up getting Goth Edge back. So, but yeah, I think the highlight of the night probably has to be Darby coming back, and he's going to be the fourth man for the Anarchy in the Arena match. And this is a great place for him to return, as it's, like I said, just minutes from his home, and it's his home area in Everett, Washington. So it worked out perfect. So, but yeah, all in all, a great episode of Dynamite. You can tell a pay-per-view is coming because they're trying to just finish off the small details. Don't want to get anybody hurt. Want to get everybody in a good position going into that pay-per-view coming up here in just 10 days' time. So